Here, and you are watching Revealed. This is a monthly series where I interview up and coming Tantra practitioners who are offering something really good to the world. So I'm so glad that you are here. And I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite people on the planet. Rabbi Yosef Resnick has just received his certification in marriage and intimacy coaching. And he is so much more than just a certification, as you're going to find out in just a minute. Okay, so just listen to all of these things that Rabbi Yosef is into. He's an auriculotherapist. That's acupressure for the ear, which we'll hear a little bit more about. A holistic healer. He's a trained EMT. He's a mashgiach, which we'll talk about because that's very interesting what he does. A health and wellness counselor. He is a sofer, which is a Jewish scribe, and he could tell us more about that. He has 2 bachelor's degrees, one in music, one in religion. He has a master's degree in education. He's a vegan. He's a poet. And now he's a certified marriage and intimacy coach, in addition to taking care of his congregation in Norwich, Connecticut. And on top of that, Rabbi Yosef is just funny. He's a wonderful man, marvelous human being. So I'm excited to introduce him to you. I'm going to bring him on screen right now. Hello there, Yosef.
Hello, Dakini Leah. How are you? Thank you so much. You're so sweet and you're too kind. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're the one who's done all of those things. But before we get into that, I want to just point out to our audience here that we're broadcasting on a Friday instead of my usual Saturday because, of course, you are Jewish and you're getting ready to observe the Sabbath. So tell us what you are doing to get ready for Sabbath. Today's a busy day for you.
Right. Well, the Sabbath goes from sundown on Friday night until 3 stars come out on Saturday night. So it's a 24-hour period. And during that period, certain things we observant Jewish people do not do, like turn lights on and off and cook and use cell phones and things like that, or drive. So everything has to be done before Shabbat starts, all the cooking, cleaning, and shopping and all that kind of stuff. So I do a lot of cooking. In general, I do a lot of cooking Friday mornings. My wife works full time and she works all day Friday. So I do a lot of cooking. I like to cook. And
you're taking up the slack.
Yeah. Right. Well, I enjoy it, and a lot of cooking, and I also have to prepare on Shabbat. I give several talks over the course of Shabbat with my congregation, so I have to prepare all that in advance. I do something Friday night, and I do a class tomorrow morning, and then I do a talk during services, and then in the afternoon I do another short teaching. So all that I have to prepare in advance.
You're crazy busy. That's a lot. So Shabbat.
But you know what? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that Shabbat, if for my listeners who are not Jewish, that means Sabbath. That's if you grew up in the church, that's like Sunday, but it's on Saturday for you that you are
right.
Orthodox. Yeah. How lovely. And that's a lot of preparation.
Yeah, but it's really a joy. I mean, from the cooking to the preparing words of Torah to share with my congregation, it's all greatest joy for me, really.
That's really neat. So I want to welcome people who are coming in, and I want to invite you to pop your name in the comments because Yosef and I probably can't see them from StreamYard. You can go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard permission to show your name in the comments. Otherwise, we can't see your name. But do ask questions whenever you like. Hop in if you have any questions for Rabbi Yosef. One of the questions that I have is, do I need to be Jewish to come and see you for marriage and relationship counseling?
Absolutely not. I will talk to and work with anybody.
Yeah, you will. And another question I know right off the bat people are going to ask is, how is what you do Tantric? And this was a question that you actually had for me. Why in the world did I spot what you were doing as Tantra. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Well, okay, sure. We were talking before we began this broadcast, and you mentioned that in Tantra, you see another individual as complete and whole and an expression of the divine.
Yeah.
And um, and that's really like an ideal relationship. When you see your partner or even a friend as all of those things. So,
Yes.
and the other thing is, I just looked up, I saw literally the word Tantra means woven and linked together like that. So I was thinking, well, that's perfect because that's what a relationship is: two people or more woven together in a beautiful tapestry of emotions and intellect and divinity. So
Yeah.
I think it is a good combination.
I think the concept of Tantra is often misunderstood. In our culture, we tend to think of red Tantra, or Tantra as being bedroom enhancement, bigger, better orgasms. But Tantra is really a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And part of that is recognizing that your partner is created in the image of the divine and that your partner isn't wrong, that they are in that process and the process of them is perfect. And that's something that I've noticed about working with you is you recognize that each person in this dyad is coming at you divine and they are in their own perfect process, and you recognize that sovereignty. I think a lot of people are afraid to come for couples counseling because they don't want to be made wrong by the counselor.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want their partner and the counselor to gang up on them, which has happened to me in therapy. But that's not what you do. You have a totally different approach.
Well, I think some of that probably stems from and is evolution from my development as an observant Jewish person. But also, when we were talking about this before, there are in neurolinguistic programming, which I'm just finishing up certification in. There's several. Sorry.
Of course you are. You're so well
NLP, yeah.
educated. You have so many things under your belt. It doesn't surprise
Well,
me that you're doing another one.
something that I'm really enamored with. I love it. And there are different presuppositions in NLP, neuro linguistic program NLP. And a couple of those are that everybody has a different map of the world. And also, everybody's map of the world is not necessarily the actual world itself, it's their map of the world. But also that people are doing the best they can with the resources that they have at any given moment. And also that everything we do has a positive intention to that person who's doing it, even if it seems crazy to us, it has a positive intention. So I think when we can look at somebody else, a partner or a client or a business partner, anybody, through that lens of this person is doing the very best that they can, and just because my perspective, my take on it is different, doesn't mean they're wrong. I think that's a good start to establishing rapport and connecting with other people.
That's an excellent start. I would imagine that helps to diffuse some situations that could get volatile.
For sure.
Yeah, that's really neat. That's cool. So when I was introducing you, I mentioned some terms that I don't think my listeners are going to be all that familiar with. Mashgiach. Tell me what that is.
Well, okay. A mashgiach is a Hebrew word that means somebody who supervises something. One could be mashgiach over many different things, but the way the term is usually applied is in terms of supervising the making of food that is kosher, because kosher food needs supervision. So a mashgiach supervises kosher food, and I've done that off and on for years, and I do that part time. I do that now as well.
So where do you supervise kosher food? Would it be in a restaurant?
It could be in a restaurant. I've done that many times, or in a like I do that in a senior home now,
Oh,
where
wow.
it's a kosher facility. So I have to things have to be supervised and maintained in the kitchen and on all the floors as well. It could also be in people's homes. There's all different applications of hashgacha.
That just sounds like it would be very respectful to people who wanted to follow the Jewish eating laws.
That it would be that
That it is respectful, that it's a respectful thing to do.
interesting. Well, yeah, I'm trying to. I'm part of a group of people who do this at this particular facility, but altogether we are ensuring that the food there is kosher. That's our job. Yeah.
And we have Joan Robinson coming in. She says, hello, Yosef and Leah. Hello,
Hi,
Joan. Thank you for
Joan.
joining us.
Hi,
And
Joan.
Joan, and if any time you have any questions for Yosef, just pop them in there. Tell us, Sofer. What is a Sofer?
Well, a sofer is a scribe, and a sofer basically writes Hebrew calligraphy, which goes from right to left.
I was going to
And
say, so
actually,
you can write in the opposite direction
it's from
of
right to
English.
left. If you're a righty, it's actually this is tricky because your hand, as you write each letter, your hand is passing over wet ink, so it's very easy to smudge. So you have to learn how to hold the quill, and the quill is made out of either generally a turkey feather or a goose feather. You have to cut the end.
Seriously?
Cut the end into a little calligraphy point usually with an X-Acto knife, and then we generally also usually write on parchment made from some type of kosher animal skin. It's a big task, and I used to do a lot of it. I don't do it anymore really. I still apply the knowledge that I have in certain, like as in the synagogue here at certain times, but the actual writing and checking, I used to do a lot of it. I don't really do that lately, but it's a whole skill and an art form, really.
So ever since I've known you, Yosef, you have always been deeply devout and deeply religious, but you have never been judgmental or not accepting of me. However I've come to you, whatever I tell you, I always feel accepted by you, which again is another tantric tenet. But I think our culture right now, especially, there's this huge backlash against the practice of religion. People are seen as judgmental and pushing their beliefs on others,
Right.
especially with the overturn of Roe v. Wade, the huge conservative wave that seems to be coming over our country that some people are rejoicing over and others are feeling really resentful about. So how do you reconcile this practice of religion with this big backlash against religion right now?
Well, that's a good question. Just to preface my answer, if I can think of one, you said I've been devout and observant as long as you've known me, and not judgmental. But I haven't been devout and observant my whole life. Non-judgmental part, I hope I have been, but I only came to it as an adult, really. As far as anti-religious feelings, I think I've been dealing with that in one form or another for 30 years. I don't think it's anything new. I know there are new issues cropping up. Personally, I can relate to it because that's how I grew up as as an atheist.
Yeah, you grew up secular.
Right. So I just try to connect to, like we were just talking about, people have their own maps of the world, and I can appreciate everybody's viewpoints, even if I don't agree with them. And I just I don't like to be confrontational either. So it's a good combination for not getting into, debates or hostility.
Fist fights.
Yeah,
Right?
that too.
Yeah. Joan says, where do you live or where are you now?
I live in Norwich, Connecticut.
Yeah. And
The
you have a
Rose
pretty
of the Rose of New England, it's called.
the Rose of New England.
Yeah.
Yosef, if you wanted to do a meditation with us and our listeners right now, would you like to go ahead and do that now?
Yeah, sure. So this is the it's based on one of the first chakra, which I'll talk about in just a second. I call it, well, the Muladhara chakra, which is in the system of chakras. It's the first one down in the um, down at the very bottom of the torso, and this is based on some ideas that Carl Jung, the famous analyst, actually gave four lectures on Kundalini Yoga back in 1923. And he spoke a lot about the chakras. So the Muladhara chakra, or if you're thinking, there's also every spiritual system really has a similar uh, um, theory of energy centers in the body. So in Judaism, it would be the sfirot, and Malchus, would be the corresponding energy center. In any case, the Muladhara chakra, which is connected to the earth, the element of earth, and it's the chakra, the energy force that keeps us grounded, and like it's also related to seeds and soil. And just like a seed has a lot of potential for growth in it, the Muladhara chakra contains our potential and our all of our energy that can be expressed in different ways. So I call this the either the soulmate or partner meditation. And what we're going to do, and depending on if you're looking for your soulmate, or perhaps you're sitting with your soulmate right now, we can apply this meditation either way. And I'll tell you what the basic meditation is, and then you can do it according to your situation. So everybody's probably sitting in a chair right now, or maybe even if you're standing, but our feet are connected to sitting on the floor on the ground. So the meditation is to feel all the energy from your body flowing down through your feet into the ground, and just a two-way exchange, really, of energy from the earth flowing up into your body, for those of you who are into earthing and grounding like I am. And for right now, we want to imagine all and visualize all the energy from our body flowing down through our feet into the ground, all the way down to the center of the earth. To the center of the earth. And in a split second, as this is something that's occurring all the time, we just don't think about it that much, perhaps. So imagine the energy from your body flowing down your legs, through your feet, into the ground, and shooting down to the center of the earth. And there in the center of the earth, all the energy from everybody walking the earth, all their energy is eventually ending up in the center of the earth and meeting up in one big ball of energy. So the meditation is to feel that energy going down. And if you're sitting, let's say you're sitting facing your partner, so the energy from their body is also flowing down to the center of the earth. And there in the center of the earth, the energy from you is meeting up with the energy from your partner and connecting. You're connected energetically in the very center of the earth. That's if you're doing this with a partner. Let's say you're looking for a soulmate. So your future soulmate, and you should find them soon, is walking the earth right now. And the energy from their body is also flowing down to the center of the earth. So on some deep level, you are actually connected to your future soulmate. On an energetic level, maybe deep down in the center of the earth, you two are connected. So if you're looking for a soulmate, you can have in mind that you are connecting right now to your soulmate. And the relationship between you and your soulmate is beginning right now energetically. And as you connect to whoever that person is, you are beginning the process of drawing them closer, energetically, spiritually, emotionally, and geographically. So let's take a minute, close your eyes. Imagine this energetic power, this powerful energy flowing down to the center of the earth. And you're either connecting to your, again, to your partner who might be sitting right next to you or right across from you. And this is bringing you closer together. It's strengthening that connection, that wovenness of Tantra. It's being strengthened in the very center of the earth. Or again, if it's your soulmate you're trying to find, so you're reaching out to them now energetically. So let's just take a minute to focus on that. Okay, open your eyes, and even when you stop thinking about this process, you're still connected. And I wish everybody just all my deepest prayers and blessings and best wishes that if it's your partner, you should become even closer and more, and in every way. And if it's a soulmate, I hope that they are coming closer to you.
Oh, that was lovely. Thank you very much for that. That's really sweet. And it'll be interesting to get some feedback from people who have done this meditation to find out if they meet somebody amazing or if they feel closer to their partners. So thank you. That's really
You're
sweet.
welcome.
So you've worn a lot of hats and you still wear these hats. And now your latest hat is that you're a certified marriage and relationship coach.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think all of those hats that you've worn before feed into now this new step in your career?
Well, I think some of them don't. It might be harder for some of those hats to find how have fit in, but have played into this. But I think I started with. I come from a family of healers, really. My father's a retired doctor. My brother's an audiologist. My sister's a social worker and does other things as well. So I initially I got certification in holistic health from the Indian Board of Alternative Medicines. So I think it started out as more of a physical. I used to be into macrobiotic medicine, and I'm still very interested and fascinated with healing from a holistic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can't really separate the body from the spirit, can you?
That's right, right. So, and I think it kind of evolved and morphed a little bit more from the physical healing side, which I'm still fascinated with, to the more emotional relationship side of things, which for me, just personally, has been a real journey and just a fascinating journey for myself as well. And this has been a great way for me to express that and learn about it and practice it in a more professional way.
Yeah, what made you decide to take this certification?
Well, to be honest with you, my EMT certification was expiring. This is just last year, and I started to renew the certification, and then I thought, and then the opportunity for this certification in relationship work came up, and I thought, you know what, that's more my speed. That's what I'm interested in. So I let the EMT certification lapse, and I decided to throw myself into the relationship work, and I'm glad I did.
I'm glad that you did too, because I think that you're uniquely gifted in this work. I think that being a therapist or a relationship coach is a delicate thing, because people come to you when they're in pain. They come to you when they're really vulnerable. And you have this beautiful style of recognizing people's strengths in their pain, and you listen to them, and you value their perspective and what they have to say, and you help people weave back together in your work. I think
Thank
that's
you.
just lovely.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much for saying
you're
that. That's what I'm
gifted.
trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do.
I can tell. So if you are interested in learning more about Rabbi Yosef and his work as a certified marriage and relationship coach, take a peek at his website. It's helixcenterwellness.com, and you can get more information. If you are a live listener right now, Rabbi Yosef would like to gift you with a free 30-minute coaching session. So just contact him there at yosef.resnick@gmail.com and ask for your free 30-minute coaching session. And I really hope that people will take advantage of this, because it's rare to find somebody who takes a tantric perspective to relationships and is so talented and gifted as you are. So I think that's really lovely. Will you talk just a minute about where the name Helix comes from? Why you chose that name for your practice?
Sure. Well, it started when I became an auricular therapist, and I created a website for my physical healing work. I do some other things as well as auricular therapy, and I decided to call it Helix at the time. Partly auricular therapy, again, is ear acupressure. And there's a microsystem in the ear, I love microsystems. I found it fascinating. The helix is one part of the ear is called the helix, and it's also part of the DNA structure of DNA. And I just thought it was the pictures that, if you Google helix, the pictures are beautiful. And I like the name, and I just decided that Helix Center, I liked the sound of it. So, and I kept it when I went into this relationship.
So the helix is a sacred image for you. It has a lot of meaning.
Yes, a lot of meaning, yes.
Yeah, that's really neat. I'm going to go ahead and put your contact information back up just to be sure everyone gets a chance to see it.
Sure. I actually have a Facebook page for the Helix. One of my Facebook pages is for my Helix Center work. So it has that. Look
cool.
for that. Yeah.
So we can go to the Helix Center Wellness and find you on Facebook as well.
Yes.
Very cool. What is your vision for the Helix Center Wellness? Where would you like it to go?
Well, I enjoy public speaking. I'd love to travel around and do public speaking on relationships and workshops. I would love to get involved in doing relationship workshops. Just for now, this is a new venture for me. So I'm just trying to reach out and make my name known.
So now's a good time to come see you before you get too busy and we can't get in.
That's right. Yeah. At some point, I won't be offering free coaching sessions. Right?
That's right.
But
Why
I'm
should
happy to
people
do
come and see you? What are some of the issues that they might be struggling with that you can help them with?
I think any relationship issues, from wanting to work on love languages or find out what your love language is, intimacy issues, becoming closer with your partner, with your family, with yourself, all those things.
Yeah. And I think that what's wonderful is that people don't have to be afraid to reach out to you for any of those issues, that you are non-judgmental and fully accepting. You really listen to where people are coming from, and you're there to help them to reestablish connections with one another. I just think that's so beautiful.
Thank you for saying that.
Oh, you're welcome. I wish you the very best, Yosef, in your practice, that you'll be wildly successful. And I'm going to be able to say I knew you when. Yeah. All right there. Thank you. So we're all out of time. I really want to thank you for coming on, Rabbi Yosef. And
my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed this.
You're very welcome. And you've just watched Another episode of Reveal. I'm Dakini Leah, certified Tantra educator and psychology professional. And if you would like to learn more about how Tantra can change your life, then I recommend that you give me a call. This is my personal cell phone number there. Call me or text me is a great way to get a hold of me. And you can schedule your free discovery session with me. And we'll talk about how Tantra can help you to boost intimacy and self-development and healing as well. And you can also find me on Facebook. I'm Dakini Leah on Facebook and livingintantra.com as well. So much love to all of you. Thank you for watching another episode. And I'll be back next time with a brand new episode of Revealed. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.